Imagine a world where your own pulse acts as a prophet, whispering warnings of a catastrophe before a single symptom manifests. It sounds like the stuff of science fiction, yet the boundary between biological inevitability and technological intervention has just shifted. Here is the reality: every year, millions of people suffer cardiac events that strike with terrifying, silent suddenness. But what if you were granted 24 hours of grace? This isn't just a dream of the future, it is a clinical milestone being reached right now. Research shows that the human body leaves a trail of microscopic breadcrumbs, subtle, erratic electrical shifts and physiological tremors that precede a heart attack by a full day. Until recently, these signals were indistinguishable from the noise of daily life. Now, engineers have developed sophisticated biosensors capable of decoding this biological language. The stakes could not be higher. Data suggests that if patients could reach a hospital just 24 hours earlier, the survival rate for major cardiac events would skyrocket, shifting from a desperate scramble for survival to a controlled, manageable medical procedure. In this video, we are peeling back the curtain on the breakthroughs making this possible. You will learn how high-fidelity photoplethysmography is being paired with advanced machine learning to map the unique rhythm of your heart, turning your wearable device from a simple step counter into a life-saving sentinel. We will examine the specific, invisible biomarkers that act as the smoking gun for impending distress, and why the medical community is finally embracing these predictive tools as the gold standard for preventative care. This is more than just an update on gadgetry, it is a fundamental rewrite of the relationship between human biology and machine intelligence. Let's look at the science behind this 24-hour warning system, and how it is poised to redefine the limits of human longevity. To grasp the magnitude of this breakthrough, we must first unearth the humble origins of the wearable. It began as a rudimentary accelerometer, a glorified pendulum counting strides in the dark. They were fitness accessories, not diagnostic tools. But as our appetite for data grew, so did the sophistication of the hardware. Optical sensors replaced mechanical switches. By shining green light into the skin, these devices began to track the minute volumetric changes of blood flow. What was once a toy for the weekend jogger matured into a continuous monitoring platform. This leap was the foundational layer of predictive cardiology. It moved us away from reactive observations and toward the detection of subtle, physiological precursors. Advanced algorithms now parse these signals, identifying patterns that remain invisible to the naked eye, and, until recently, even to the most seasoned cardiologists. We have moved from the era of "how much did I move today?" to the era of "what is my biology whispering about tomorrow?" This evolution was not inevitable, it was a deliberate march toward clinical-grade precision. By integrating multi-wavelength photoplethysmography with machine learning models trained on millions of hours of cardiac data, we have effectively turned the wrist into a gateway for deep biological surveillance. The device on your wrist is no longer just measuring your life, it is preempting the end of it. We have bridged the chasm between passive observation and active protection. The answer lies in the architecture of the signal itself, and the hidden anomalies that trigger the alarm. At the heart of this diagnostic leap is photoplethysmography, PPG. On the surface, it is merely a rhythmic pulse of green light penetrating the capillary beds of your wrist. To the sensor, however, it is a high-fidelity stream of volumetric data. While a standard fitness tracker views this as a simple cadence to calculate your BPM, this system treats the waveform as a complex, topographical map. The magic unfolds in the sub-millisecond fluctuations between those peaks. By dissecting the morphology of the pulse wave, the precise slope of the systolic rise and the subtle, jagged contours of the diastolic decay, the device captures the mechanical footprint of the vascular system. It is here, in the noise of the signal, that the machine learning architecture goes to work. Instead, the algorithm isolates a specific, haunting signature, the pre-infarction pattern. This is not a sudden collapse, but a gradual, systemic shift in vascular compliance and autonomic tone. Think of it as a structural stress test. As the heart prepares for an acute event, the delicate interplay between the sympathetic nervous system and the arterial walls begins to destabilize. The light pulses reveal a subtle stiffening, a minute loss of elasticity in the vascular tree that precedes the blockage by nearly 24 hours. It doesn't look for the heart attack itself, it looks for the mathematical echo of the impending storm. The device is no longer just counting steps or measuring sleep cycles. It is performing a continuous, silent triage. Yet, even with this unprecedented foresight, the technology faces a final, daunting hurdle: how to deliver this life-saving warning without triggering the very panic that might accelerate the event. The true revolution here isn't the silicon or the sensor, it is the fundamental collapse of the distance between a cardiac event and the intervention. We wait for the crush of pressure in the chest, the radiating pain, the emergency room scramble. But as this device begins to broadcast its warning, that antiquated model of reactive care dissolves. We are entering an era of anticipatory stewardship. This shift demands a radical evolution in the patient-doctor relationship. The patient becomes a partner in their own survival, armed with data that transforms their biology from a black box into a transparent, manageable landscape. This isn't merely about extending life, it is about reclaiming agency. The anxiety of the what if is replaced by the precision of the what now. We are moving toward a future where the most dangerous medical crises are neutralized in the calm, controlled environment of a clinic, long before they ever reach the chaotic threshold of an operating theater. With the ability to predict our own fragility comes a new psychological burden. We are learning to coexist with the ghosts of events that have not yet occurred. It requires us to refine our empathy, ensuring that these notifications remain tools of empowerment rather than anchors of dread. We are trading the trauma of the emergency for the wisdom of the early warning. The technology is ready, the data is flowing, and the framework of our health systems is beginning to bend toward this new, proactive reality. If you are ready to see how the future of personal health is being rewritten, subscribe to the channel and join us as we track the next breakthroughs in human longevity. Stay tuned.